Okay, so how do you figure out what your gas mileage actually is? You don't fill it up and then figure out how many gallons you just put in it and somehow make a subtraction of what you think the gas tank capacity is. Nothing like that. Please, if you're looking at fuel tank capacity when you're calculating gas mileage, it's not how it works. So let's go over how it does work. First of all, you really should be using the same gas station each time, because I have found that different pumps have different cutoffs. They have different sensitivities. Find one with the same sensitivity. Each time you fill up, it's going to click off at the same point. The other thing is, don't keep clicking that nozzle. I know your tank isn't full. I know you can fit more of it in, but there's a reason that it cut off when it did. There's a vapor recovery system in these things, and your tank has some unused capacity. It's going to happen. It's designed that way. Your emission systems and everything else work around that and understand that. So you're not always going to be able to get 18 gallons in your car that has an 18-gallon fuel tank. It's just the way it is. So click it off at the same point each time and only fill it to the first click. Then you need to reset your trip meter. There's a couple of ways to do that, but most cars have this little button down here that says trip and odometer. And if you hit that, you'll see it goes from the odometer. Right now this car has 47 miles on it, but if we hit that button, it goes to trip A. If you push and hold that button down, it resets it. Reset it each time you fill up. Now trip A is at 0. Fill up your car and drive. Now this one has this whole 3-panel system, and you notice that when I did that, it also reset this big one here. So you can use the little one or the big one. Either way works. Just two different ways to look at the same thing. Next, I'm going to show you an app, and we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you some things on a computer because I track this on an app. What you should do though is every single time you fill up, you zero out your trip meter. The next time you fill up, you take the amount of miles that you drove, whatever that number is on that trip meter, say 300 miles, divided by the number of gallons that you put in it the second time. That'll show you your correct fuel economy. It's exact. Now there's some variance again based on the sensitivity of the fuel pump that you're using, but I'm going to show you how to work around that in just a moment. So there is an app that I have put on my phone, and it's called Fuelie. Well, when you sign up with Fuelie, you also get access to their website. Every single time I fill up my car, I hit a little add button and I add the fill up. I tell it how many miles are on the odometer and how many gallons I put in and how much it is per gallon. And it keeps track of my mileage. This shows that on my RAV4 XSE, I have averaged 41.1 miles per gallon. My latest fill up was at 43.1 and my best is at 53.2, although I'm a little suspicious of that. But it doesn't matter. That maximum one, you kind of throw that out. You can also throw out your minimum because it shows you what your average fuel economy is over time. Every time you fill up, the pumps might have a little bit of variability in it, but that's okay because it'll average out. When you keep filling up and you just fill it to that first click each time, it'll average you out. So in warmer months, you will notice I'm getting better economy. In the winter months, worse. That's pretty typical of hybrids. I only averaged 38.5 back in February, but in May, I averaged 43.1. So this is, and by the way, I've had this car put about 39,000 miles on it, and this is pretty representative. So that is how you can track your fuel economy. And again, the name of that website is Fuelie. This is Fuelie.com, and it is the Fuelie app. I really like this if you're serious about tracking your gas mileage and seeing what you're really doing in the real world. Don't depend on that little trip computer in the car. That really is, that gives you a good estimate. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. I've had it to where it's just dead on exact, and I've had it off by as many as 5 miles to the gallon. But as I showed in the previous video, If you reset that, it'll get rid of all the stuff, all of the idling that happened during the manufacture process, and then you can at least get a better idea of what you're doing. If you just need a rough idea, it works great. If you want exact, calculate it exact. It's not difficult. I'm Steve Clifford. Thanks for watching.